Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another In with Flynn. Before we get started today, what I'd like to do is explain something to you because I had a gentleman walk up to me at the new member orientation and say, "What happened to the mayor's show?" Well, it's here. It's just changed the name. So we're not any longer doing the mayor's rap. Instead, we're doing In with Flynn. So any of you watching this, be sure you tell your friends that we have not gone away. We just have a new mayor. And by way of introduction, welcome, John.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here.
Yes.
Yeah.
John, this is our second show for the mayor's update. So let's jump right in. Is that okay with you?
Sure.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
I think the most exciting thing right now is not only are the police in the new safety building, but it's beginning to open up, right?
Yes, that's correct. The police, I've been moving in gradually each week, a couple different departments. And in fact, tomorrow, March 16, is the big move because it's dispatch. And that's so crucial, you know, because it's the emergency calls for fire and police, both. And it's a big challenge. It's been a big challenge for the information technology guys to get the different things moved in, make sure everything's working correctly. And of course, in the case of dispatch, we all consider that a top priority.
So you can't really shut the old one down completely to move in the new one, or is it going to be like...
Yeah, you've got to have it all set up so
Yeah.
you can make the transition
Yeah.
immediately,
Yeah.
obviously. So, but I think what you're referring to is some of the public meetings. You know, you were involved in the very first meeting. The Planning Commission met on March 13, Monday, March 13. That was the first meeting, I believe, in the new court building, which is at the front of the public safety building. Mm-hmm. And it's really beautiful. And there's some other meetings coming up. I think the first court day is tomorrow, March 16. And then, of course, City Council is going to be March 20 and March 27. But if you think about it, Planning Commission meets there 2 days a month. City Council meets there 2 days a month. We have court in there 2 days a month. So, and there may be other meetings. Sometimes Board of Construction Appeals meets there. So I think we're going to get a lot of use out of it, and people will enjoy it once it's fully up and running.
I'm glad we didn't open it on the Ides of March, which is today.
Yeah.
Although, you know, sometimes supposedly unlucky things are truly lucky anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
No, it's a beautiful room. It truly is. Very high ceilings, a lot more seating capacity, a lot more, for those that have to sit at the podium or get to sit at the podium, a lot more relaxing. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
We were wondering, though, who was walking on the roof. So we don't know if they were still working up there or if there was a wind blowing. But anyway, it's a beautiful building. Now, do we know yet when the ribbon cutting or the grand opening is? I've heard a date, but...
Yeah, that's a good question. It is on a Monday. I want to say April 25, but what's the date you heard?
I heard
I remember it
24th.
was a Monday. Yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah.
It is on a Monday, and yeah, I guess they wanted to get settled in a little bit before they had that. But in fact, I took the liberty of inviting former Mayor Christie, because he and the chief of police were, you know, worked so hard on that, were so instrumental in it. I thought it'd be appropriate he'd be there. So,
absolutely.
Anyway.
And just a plug for the TV station here a little bit. We're going to do another walkthrough and record the progress with the police chief, the Chief Graves on next Monday. So that'll be out there so people can kind of see the building walk through to get an idea.
Yeah, that's a great idea, actually, because it is a large building, a lot of interesting aspects to it. You know, they have the indoor shooting range in there, so people can get qualified and also practice, the police officers.
And maybe our statues and everything might be ready by then, I hope.
Yeah, I think it may be. Yeah, they're working on, it's up in a foundry in Kansas City, and they're working on the finishing touches on those.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right, so the state of the city.
Yeah, at our last TV get together, I was talking about the state of the city, and maybe we'd do it at the end of February. We decided to do it at the end of March because we'd have the year-end financials done by then.
Yeah.
And technically, the legal rule is you have to do it in the first 90 days. So we're going to do it on March 27 as part of the city council meeting. But the 2022 financials are in, and I'll give you a few highlights. For the first time, the revenues in Bella Vista were over $30 million. And that's the first time we've achieved that level. Now, part of that was, we had American Rescue Plan funds from the federal government, and that was $2.9 million. And also the Mercy Way Bridge project, we had quite a few grants. I think a little over $3 million just in that calendar year was for that bridge project, because we did have some grants from the state and federal government there. So, but still, to be over that threshold I thought was quite something. City income tax went up 12% from 3.3 million to 3.7. And it's interesting, our average income tax over the last few years has gone up 13%. So it's gone up pretty steadily every year, and that's really shows the activity, because the rate's the same. It shows the activity level. One of the more notable things is our reserve, meaning the unassigned reserves, the extra cash we have invested, went from 11 million at the end of last year to 18 million. So that was quite an increase. And then that seems like, wow, you're sitting in a lot of money. What are you doing? And one of the reasons for that is we have a couple of really big projects this year that we knew were going to take up some capital. And one is the new fire station training tower, which we'll be working on probably the whole year. We'll be doing good to have that done by the end of 2023. And the other is, now that the police have moved out, I know I've mentioned this before, fire station number 1, we're going to rehabilitate that for the living quarters for the firemen in that station, and that's going to be a fairly expensive project. So we have those two things going on. But the other thing about our finances plus we were concerned there may be a recession this year, and we wanted to be braced for that. The other thing that's interesting, we had this 1% bond issue, and it was for the public safety building and the new fire station that's completed on Glasgow, and also the fire station training tower. And it was $23.5 million and supported by a 1% sales tax. So we've met with our financial folks, outside experts who handled the bond, and they are projecting that it'll be paid off in 2026 to 2028, sometime in that time period. And it was supposed to go till 2042.
Oh.
So it's being paid off spectacularly early, which is very good news, as far as our financial strength. And it's because our city income tax has been more robust than they might have thought.
Does that mean sales tax or income tax?
Sales tax.
Sales tax.
It was the 1% sales tax,
Yeah.
So that's what's happening on the state of the city, but we're going to have a full report on March 27 about what's going on. But I feel good about the financial situation. We're just very fortunate. Northwest Arkansas is prospering. People are still moving here, and it shows. I mean, it's affecting everything, really. We still have people. I thought with the interest rates going up, the housing would slow down quite a bit, but we still have housing starts about the same as last year.
Yeah.
In January and February so far.
And those are the new ones. That's not even the ones that the people moving in existing properties.
Yeah, that's right.
So. Okay. Well, can we talk about the potential elephant in the room? Can we talk about the state legislature?
Yeah, there's a number of things going on with the state legislature that affects cities. One of them was a there was a proposed law about how fast permits had to be approved, and I think they made a couple amendments to that, and that's going to be okay. Another one that concerned our folks was Senate Bill 81, which has to do with libraries. And the librarians are very concerned about this. And what they're trying to do is protect children from literature or things that might be considered off-color or pornographic. But it puts the librarians are concerned because it puts a big burden on them. You know, if you're supposed to keep things away from minors, then you have to isolate certain areas of the library. How are you going to accomplish that? And they're kind of nervous about that. So I know the State Library Association is, you know, working with the legislators, trying to make sure it's something that's workable. You know, a lot of these things sound good in concept, but trying to execute on it, it could be pretty tricky.
Yes.
And the one that's people in Bella Vista have been watching more so is Senate Bill 197, which has to do with short-term rentals. You know, we had passed an ordinance in December regulating them. And the first cut on Senate Bill 197 was very radical. It said you couldn't regulate them in any way. A simple example is the ordinance we passed said, hey, if you're going to rent out your house, you could have 3 people per bedroom. And under the proposed law, you could have any number, but you could have 10 or 15 people in the bedroom, you know, any number you wanted. There'd be no regulation allowed of any sort. So there's a lot of different things like that that were a concern. And they're actually having hearings down there this morning in the state. And we've communicated with our legislators, and the city council passed a resolution and sent it down there to the folks, you know, stating their feelings about it. So, and there are some people from Bella Vista going down to testify, some citizens and a person from city council. So I hope they end up coming out with a bill that's workable and
Good for everybody. But
yeah.
like you were telling me earlier, this does not just affect Bella Vista. This is affecting cities all over the state.
It's very much statewide issue. Eureka Springs has been very interested in it, and Hot Springs, and certain, the people who really notice it the most are people that feel like they're more prone to have tourists and whatnot, and tourism. And, you know, they're just concerned. It's not that we're against short-term rentals. In fact, I think it can be a very positive thing. But it's just trying to find that right balance of what's good for everyone. So,
I understand that there was that some of the inspections are starting in some people that have applied.
yeah.
Can you clear up something for us here? I know that there was a training exercise recently. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit to clarify what that really was all about?
Yeah, I guess there was a little bit of a dust up on Facebook about it. That when we started doing the inspections, they thought it would be good to make sure everyone was trained. So they asked the owner, and the very first one they did, they had, you know, everybody go in so they could all see how to do it and make sure we were all doing it consistently. And you know, some people took films of it and acted like it was like
An
a
invasion.
SWAT team kind of thing. So anyway.
But really, that
yeah.
was all with permission of the owner. And,
Yeah.
you know, he was fine with that. They were fine with that.
Yeah. So
okay.
anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else about the? Are you feeling pretty good about or just waiting to see how it all turns out for the state?
Oh, on the short-term rental.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, you know, we've put in what we thought would be some changes, and hopefully we'll get some changes that'll make it, you know, something everybody can work with.
Okay.
But
Okay.
you know, hopefully we can turn down the temperature. And you know, the little animosity was created last year. People felt pretty, on both sides of the issue, felt a little emotional. And I'm not so sure the two sides really are all that far apart. So hopefully we can get something everybody can, you know, be happy with. And of course, like you say, it's a statewide issue. It's not just a Bella Vista issue.
That's
So,
right.
and it's actually a nationwide issue. Apparently, there's been issues a lot of different places about it.
So stay tuned. We'll
Yeah.
find out more next time. That's why we have these every month, so we can put out positive, factual information.
Yeah.
Good deal. Okay, so let's do this really quickly. Can you give us, because everybody sees it every day, the roads and bridge update? Let's put that in there right now. Is that okay?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Yeah, I know a lot of people have great interest in that, and the Mercy Way Bridge project is coming along really well, and we're expecting that to be done around July 2023, which actually would be a bit ahead of schedule because it's a pretty big project. I did wanted to mention, we had something called the Wilpet litigation, which was, we had to take a certain number of feet from the different property owners along there, CVS
Yes.
and Cooper, and the gas station on the corner there is owned by a company called Wilpet. And we had some litigation with them because they didn't feel like the price was proper. And so we met with them and ironed things out, and we're able to reach a settlement, which City Council needs to approve it for it to be effective. But I was glad we're able to get a settlement there and avoid litigation on that. So.
Boy, that'll be a beautiful road through there, and that intersection, right now, driving through that intersection is kind of like you need a four-wheel drive vehicle to turn in, but it'll be so much better.
Well, and the other thing about that bridge is the way it was, there's really no room for bicycles or pedestrians. If you try to walk across there, I mean, you kind of have
Take
to
your life in your own hands.
Yeah, exactly. And the way it's going to be, there's going to be a pedestrian area and an area for bikes. And my understanding is the trail's going to come across that bridge and then hang a right and go back behind the shopping center there where
Yes.
Allen's is and some of the other places.
Long Sugar Creek area. Yeah.
So I think that'll be very nice. It'll be a big plus for the area.
Absolutely, it will. Is there anything you can tell us, and this is a little off the cuff, this isn't on our paper, so forgive me, at all, has there been any movement at all from Bentonville on the lake and what they might do there about removing the dam? Is that just something we need to talk about in future?
Oh, well, yeah, they did have a settlement of their litigation. The litigation was between Cooper and the city of Bentonville, and that has been settled. And I understand there's some drawings out about their compromised vision for it. I guess it's going to technically be a free-flowing stream, but they're going to have a couple of little ponds or small lakes on the side there. So I know Bella Vista has drawn up some plans to fix up that parking lot and make it really nice there, because it's right on the edge of the city of Bentonville. But I'm not sure how long all that's going to take. I had somebody tell me they're not going to do it as quickly as they'd like.
Yeah.
This person, citizen. So yeah, I know people have been, mainly people have been upset about just it being in litigation and therefore not being cleaned up and not being as pretty as it used to be. So I think in the long run, we'll get all that straightened around. I'm not sure if how fast it'll all happen, but
well, and
things
it's
are
got our
moving
name
forward.
on it, even though we don't own it.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of a reflection on us. I was excited, and I think there probably still something in the works down the road. The Historical Museum, the Bella Vista Historical Museum, has kind of worked with, we went to the city council meetings a long time ago to see, before the settlement was done. So I know there were some preliminary plans of actually putting up some historical signs and things about the history of Bella Vista and what used to be here, and maybe keeping some of the, I don't know what you call them, but the dam's gone, but you still have some of the historical displays on the side. And, things always work out for the better, even though it feels uncomfortable for a little while.
I know the History Museum has been a great asset for the city, and they've been very interested in that area and the history of it because in the early days, 1917 or so, when Bella Vista was first developed as a resort area, that was really the area down there around Lake Bella Vista was the area that was developed.
And the TV station had its birth there in a laundry trailer behind Lake Bella Vista. That used to be where the old, excuse me, not old, but where the people that would come here for recreation, their help would take the laundry there and do their laundry and bring it back. So we've got a big history going on there,
I
too.
didn't know about that.
Yeah,
so it's interesting
absolutely.
to know.
So anyway, it's all going to be fabulous. Hey, we got a couple of really cool events coming up. In fact, one of them is tomorrow.
Yeah.
So this may not be out in time, but let's talk about it anyway.
Yeah, the Artist of the Month.
The quarter now. We're doing it by the quarter.
Is going to be on Thursday, March 16. It's at Bella Vista Country Club at 5 p.m. And they're going to have 3 artists. As you say, they're doing it every quarter. So it's a little different format. So, I'd encourage people to come to that. It's a fun event. And it's, I think, been a real positive event for the city, spotlighting some of our local artists.
It's back at BV Bar and Grill. Let's make sure everybody understands that. And it'll be right inside the door. As you come in the door, just off to the left, that's where they'll all be. So then you can go to the bar and get you a drink and walk around and have dinner afterwards.
Yeah.
So it'll be really, really nice.
Yeah.
We have a new business. Got a ribbon cutting.
Yeah, we have a ribbon cutting on Saturday. I believe it's at 1:30. It's Fat Tire and the Bella Vista Business Association. It's been kind of spearheading that. So they've been open for a little while, but they're also opening up their, they have a few places upstairs you can rent, if you want to stay over. And so they're having a ribbon cutting on Saturday, so that's kind of neat. And then on Monday is Arbor Day, and we're planting a tree at 2 p.m. The city's given a tree every year, and we're going to plant it at the Veterans Wall of Honor.
Good.
The city has been, city and the POA have been enhancing their relationship, I'd say, with the Veterans Wall of Honor organization, and there'll be more news about that in the future. But we're really getting a lot closer with them and helping them, supporting them. So I thought this was kind of a neat way to start off by having a tree planting out there.
Totally.
So, yeah.
I love that.
And that's at 2 p.m. on Monday.
Okay.
So.
And I guess it's too early to talk about the tree giveaway, isn't it? That's next month, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's coming up sometime in April. I have it on my calendar. But that's that's always a popular event.
Popular? I mean, man, you start early in the morning and 45 minutes later you don't have any trees left.
Well, whatever time we try to set for starting the tree giveaway, there's always people there way earlier than that. So,
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
so
right.
I guess it's super popular.
Yeah, absolutely.
But those trees come from Walton Family Foundation. I have to give them a shout out for that. And our tree board's involved, and Bella Vista Foundation helps with that. So it's kind of a neat thing to see people getting involved.
That's right.
The other thing coming up is at 6 and 60, that's a citizen outreach type thing where they try to clean up Highway 71, a 6-mile stretch in 60 minutes or so. And they get quite a few folks out there for that. And that's going to be the last Saturday in March. That's how they said that.
Tim, I can never say his name right.
Bashar.
Thank you. Kind of spearheads that every time. And it's really cool to see all those people out there on 71 in just an hour.
Yeah.
you know, 6 miles.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've been involved with picking up litter with fly tires on Lancashire, and then with the 6 and 60 on 71. And there's something about major roadways like that. There's way more litter on 71.
Really?
I mean, yeah, it's very noticeable, the difference.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's unfortunate. It'd be nice if it'd be something our society could get over. But it's good that we get out there and clean it up, and it really does help, makes it look a lot better.
It's pride in our city. That's what
yeah.
it's all about.
That's right.
Okay, so now I know that we just have about 5 minutes left here, so let's talk a little bit about bike races, and even though it's way out there, the golf tournaments that are coming up.
Yeah, well, I just noticed looking at the schedule going forward, as usual, there's quite a few different golf tournaments on the schedule, and I'm starting to get things in about the different bike races, and there's going to be a number of them this year. Some of them start in Bentonville and partially go in Bella Vista, and some of them start in Bella Vista, but there's quite a few on tap, and it's kind of good to see that the weather's getting a little better and seeing more things out there. But I've noticed just driving around town, we've had some half-decent days this winter, and you see more and more people on the bike trails, riding around. It doesn't take a great day, just a pretty good day is good enough, and you see, it's great to see the people out there.
Well, even hiking, I mean,
Yeah.
especially hiking.
Yeah.
The wildflowers are beginning to come out, and, it's, all in all, it's a very, anybody can use those trails, really.
Oh, yeah, there is quite a bit of hiking on those trails, yeah, more than some people realize, yeah.
That's it.
So.
Okay. Anything else more about the golf tournaments, other than there's just going to be a lot coming up? And
Well, I know the one that's for, we used to have a AA pro
golf
tournament, and they're replacing that this year with something called the longest day. So I believe it's June 21.
It is.
Yeah, and all the proceeds that day for golf fees are going to charity, and I think they're going to have a charity event, like they usually do, connected with that silent auction, that kind of thing.
Yeah, actually, it's really cool because they were talking about that this morning at the Business Association, and Linda Lloyd gave a very good presentation of what was going to happen. It is different this year. For instance, all the money that's made that day, the POA is giving away to charities, and that is so cool.
Yeah.
And on every golf cart, there'll be something, I think they're calling it Sock It To Me or something, I don't know, but there's a long sock on every golf cart where everybody can throw their change in there, and so they're doing that.
Yeah.
And then I think there's a silent auction, like always, that next weekend or somewhere doing that, the same thing. Kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
All at the BV Barn Grill. We'll talk way more about that
when it gets closer.
Yeah. But
yeah.
it hasn't gone away.
Yeah.
At all. And in fact, this might be a better way of doing things. Who knows?
Yeah.
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 I don't think they're going to do a big party like they did before, but they've got other things in mind. And the wine tree will be back.
Yeah.
That's always a very good moneymaker. So we look forward to that. I think we probably need to kind of wrap it up a little bit. Quickly, can you tell us progress on the training tower? Is that coming along nicely, or are we stalled, or what?
Well, they're pretty much just getting going on that. And the tower itself, I think they'll have the building done actually before the tower. The tower itself takes about 5 months to get it and maybe 3 months to install it. And that's why they think it'll be more toward the end of the year by the time they're all set. Yeah. But, they've recreated the road out there, and they have their plans for the building. So it's moving along pretty well.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to say before we wrap it up for the month?
Well, I just feel really good about the way things are going, and the people of Bella Vista, they've been very supportive, and there's so much happening in the community that's because of the people, getting involved.
Yes.
And the volunteerism, things like that, with the different clubs and organizations, it's really been great. Yep. So.
Well, thank you, and I look forward to next month because a lot can happen in a month.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's been happening lately, that's for sure.
Oh, before we go, you have a new city website.
Yeah, that's right. The city website was completely redone, and it's Cassie Lapp was telling me it'd been 4 years, and it was a big job.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks really great, and I don't think a lot of people realize how much information is on there. You can really figure out a lot just by going to the city website and looking at
You totally
what's
can.
on there.
So
Yeah.
my words to you is go to these websites, call the people. If you have a question, you may get a lot of phone calls after this, but talk to the mayor. That's what he's there for. Talk to your council people. They're there to support and represent you. So until next time, In with Flynn. We'll see you next month.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet.